Hi, it's just Deb here from the Thoughtful Pantry. If you're watching this, you basically have been given access to our private YouTube channel to be able to watch. You might be a person who's just bought our Sleep for Essential Oil Masterclass, or you're part of our Thoughtful Pantry Hub, where you're paying for a membership where you get access to all our masterclasses and events. I'm just going to go and share my page. And get this up. Okay, here we go. So we're going to talk about just from an essential oil perspective, how and ways we can improve your sleep or our sleep, whether it's your child, an older one. So just to give you a bit of information on what we're going to cover on this masterclass, we're going to obviously talk about our disclaimer. We're going to talk a little bit about us and why, and what are essential oils. And this is obviously for those that may be fairly new to essential oils or haven't really looked at essential oils and just starting to look at essential oils. And then we're going to talk about our Bedtime Bliss collection. And so this is going to be the products that we're going to really talk about and highlight. They're not all the oils or essential oils that can support you from a therapeutic benefit with sleep, but these are ones that, I just think this collection is just amazing and can benefit so many people, throughout all parts of our day leading up to our personal sleep hygiene. I also want to talk about why doTERRA. I think this is a really important thing to discuss, because when I'm showing you these particular oils, I'm actually talking about doTERRA essential oils. You may have some of these oils in another brand, at least then you're understanding more about what their primary uses and benefits are. But for this particular class, I'm actually talking about doTERRA essential oils. And if you're wanting to learn more from us, then we can do that. We can send some information and show you how to do that. Firstly, the disclaimer. I just want to remind you that the information shared here is not meant to replace advice from medical professionals. It's always a good idea to consult with qualified doctor or health professional if you have any questions or concerns regarding your health or medical condition. So who are we at the Thoughtful Pantry? For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Deb. I'm the founder of the Thoughtful Pantry. I've had probably the Thoughtful Pantry business happening, since probably about 2019. I do also have a business called Oily Graphics. So maybe you've come across me through my Oily Graphics. And I'm a natural perfumer. I'm a Thermomix consultant and specialist. I've been doing it for the last 12 to 13 years, and also a nutrition coach. I have 4 children, and 3 of them are on the spectrum, which led me to essential oils back in 2015. So what are essential oils? Just going to cover the little bit of basics. I'm assuming anyone maybe on here watching this masterclass may already know a bit about essential oils, but if you haven't, they basically come from plants, leaves, twigs, stems, flowers, seeds, etc. And they're the aromatic compounds that they basically extract from the plant. Now, these compounds actually help the plant, whether it's to fight off, predators, to repair, renew, regenerate, grow. And if you think about, that's what their primary use is. And then we're using those particular components, and they're going to aid us also on a therapeutic benefit. They're distilled, and there's different various forms of distillation that can occur. Just with talking about therapeutic, I'm going to talk about why I do with doTERRA. So here, doTERRA basically go to 45 different countries, and there's over 170 oils. Now, the reason being is from a therapeutic benefit, soil, climate, time of year really is making up the whole reason on the benefits and how effective and the compounds within that plant. So, you know, a lavender growing the southern hemisphere versus the northern hemisphere, even from a perfumer's perspective, they're different aromatic notes. They have their different needs and different purposes. So it's really important to understand that. And we're going to look at like the emotional benefits too. So, you know, with the limbic system, there's so much science and evidence supporting the benefits of essential oils to help with emotions. And after all, we're doing a sleep masterclass, and what is one of the primary reasons why people struggle with sleep? It's because of emotional, you know, chaos, basically, emotional overwhelm, stress, anxiety, overthinking, etc. So the bedtime collection, what is the bedtime collection? So doTERRA put together, and you can buy these oils individually. You don't need to buy them as a kit, but I love how they've put this kit together. To me, this kit makes sense. And afterwards, you'll be provided with a free graphic that will basically talk about how with sleep hygiene, it's something that we shouldn't just do at the end of the night. It's something that we should be working towards and getting our body prepared for to support. So we're getting to sleep easier. We're having better quality sleep. We're having deeper sleep. You know, we're improving our melatonin in the body. We're reducing our cortisol use, etc. So the Bedtime Bliss collection, this product is designed to aid in the improvement of daily sleeping habits. In our modern world, stress technology overstimulates, and environmental factors have very negative impacts on the ability to get adequate sleep. And we'll go into that a little bit more later on. This collection contains essential oils that are scientifically proven to promote feelings of tranquility and calm, and prepare the body for easier sleep, and provide and support for those who have difficulty staying asleep, achieving deep REM sleep. And we all need a little bit more of that deep REM. These tools can help anyone of any age to develop better self-care rituals to support their sleep. It is important to understand the significant role that sleep plays in our lives. And this is something, as a nutritional coach, is something that I really want to get across, because I feel like if I understood the role of sleep in our life, and, you know, we know that we need sleep, but we don't know right down, you don't have to get bogged down to the science of it, but just understanding the fundamentals, you'll see why it's imperative we make the changes now. We create those healthy habits. We share these healthy habits with our children so they don't suffer in the same way. And in regards to our children in particularly, they're living in such an age where they are overstimulated on a day-to-day basis with technology and lights, etc., and how that impacts the body. So it supports the production of certain hormones in the body, revitalize cells, and supports our cognitive and cardiovascular systems. And these are all systems and, you know, things that are essentially done and helped and nurtured through sleep. Like, you know, our cardiovascular, our memory, our, you know, cells with our mitochondria, you know, our hormones. This is all what then gets the help it needs so that we don't cause inflammation in the body. Emotionally, we are better equipped to handle daily tasks and stress when we get sufficient sleep. So just having a look here, we're going to now just talk about each of these individual oils just on a brief. what they're primarily used for, and especially with our blends like the Balance and the Lavender Peace and the Peace blend, I just want to go into some key ingredients, key essential oils that we have. And I love sharing, especially as the perfumer in me, talking about particular essential oils that you might not know much about, or you might have not heard about, or you didn't know that they could help support. So the first one I want to talk about is Lavender Peace. And, straight away when you think of lavender, it's just a no-brainer. A lot of people, you don't even have to know enough about essential oils. Most people will associate it to sleep, lavender. It's something that grandmothers used all the time. However, the reason why I love the Lavender Peace is, even as a perfumer, I am really not a fan of the aroma of lavender by itself. Blended, a different thing, but just sole lavender is not an aroma that I find calming or pleasant, even though that's the feeling you're supposed to evoke with lavender. Now, there's two particular essential oils in this particular blend, so it's blended, that I feel are the heroes in this blend. And the first one being marjoram, and I think it's an unsung hero. I don't know if you've got essential oils, if you have a whole case of essential oils, how often do you pull out a marjoram essential oil? I know for me personally, until learning more in depth about it, even from a perfumer's perspective, I literally, it wouldn't be the first oil I would have grabbed for certain things. So the primary benefits of Lavender Peace is it releases tension, promotes calm and rest and relaxation. So the time that you would apply Lavender Peace is when, and it's really good for setting up little children's daily sleep routine patterns. So it might be putting a couple of drops in a diffuser. It might be putting a couple of drops in their bath or in your bath or in some Epsom salts. It might be that, if you're having a massage, doing that. So the Lavender Peace is kind of like your unwinding for the evening and getting your mind ready and just letting go of what the day had beforehand. Now, marjoram itself, if we go back to marjoram, it provides and promotes deep sleep. So we're talking about that REM sleep again, and it supports the nervous system. The other thing that it does is it also supports the immune system. And the reason I want to touch upon that is basically our immune system is, dependent on the quality of sleep that we're getting. So when you're feeling run down and you haven't had enough sleep, that's normally when you get inflammation in the body. So if we're using essential oils that kind of support the immune system, it's going to help our sleep and help our immune system at the same time. So things that have a twofold benefit or multi-purpose benefit, I always love. And the other thing to know, and this would be really good for maybe your athlete, but more particularly for little children who go through growth spurts and they get restless legs, this is really supportive of muscles. So putting a couple of drops of marjoram or the Lavender Peace on their legs when they go to bed, it will be very helpful. The other oil I want to talk about is hoe wood. And not a lot of people know what hoe wood is. I love it as a perfumer. It's related. It's actually part of the Ravensara tree, which obviously it comes from the bark. It helps to with insomnia and cell growth. So when we think of cell growth, we're thinking of our mitochondria. And, they talk about when we're sleeping, how everything is renewed and regenerated, and that's when our body repairs itself. So that is why sleep is so important. And the other thing to know about hoe wood is it has naturally occurring linalool. And why this is important, if you're a person like myself who doesn't like the aroma profile of lavender, but you happen to have some hoe wood, you're going to get the right chemical composition because it's the linalool that helps with the relaxation and the rest. And both the lavender piece can be applied either aromatically or topically. And it's really important that we state this because there are some oils that are food grade, but the ones that we're primarily talking about today are all only aromatic and a topical application. The next one we want to talk about is Peace Touch. Now, this is one that you would carry through the day. You would have it in your bag on the go. It is an effective oil for those who have overthinking, anxious thoughts, who are overwhelmed, who struggle a lot to regulate themselves. It also supports the respiratory system. So with the Peace Touch, it's recommended that, you take it out when you need it, when you got those moments of feeling a bit of despair or overthinking, etc. But how about doing some preventative work? So if you're about to go to school and you're a bit anxious about school, or you're about to go into a meeting, or you're about to do something that you really feel uncomfortable or unsure of, if you've got it on the go in your bag and apply it also on your chest. The other way you can do when you're really feeling just overwhelmed is just rolling it on the palms of your hand and just cupping it and taking deep breaths and inhaling it. It will calm the mind. It's grounding. Now, the two oils I really, really want to talk about, and they're not ones that you kind of would maybe associate with sleep and relaxation, is firstly spearmint. When we think of mint, we think of peppermint, we think of wake up, refresh, energy. I often use peppermint when I'm cleaning the house to kind of wake me up. But spearmint is really, like, a primary benefit is to support anxiety and aid digestion. So when we're thinking of in terms of sleep again, if we're eating too close to when we're going to bed and our body is having to do that digestive work through our sleep, we're wanting to give it something to support that. And, when you think of your nervous system with the rest and the digest, it also helps with memory. Now, one of the fundamental reasons that we go to sleep is to help support our cognitive and our brain health. And so our memory. Now, just a little fun fact is that if we diffuse for 2 hours right when we go to sleep, so 2 hours right when we're going off to sleep, over a 6-month period, it will increase our memory capacity to 236%. Here's my pussycat. So that is huge difference that aroma can do to supporting our memory through sleep. And then we're looking at hormones, because when we're looking, especially from a woman's perspective, I'm in the latter, in the menopause stage, where if you're in the perimenopause, and, this is like, again, I say, I wish I'd done the work a little bit earlier, supporting those hormones, because when we sleep, we're wanting to protect our adrenals, we're wanting to support the cortisols, we're wanting to support the thyroid, we're wanting to increase our melatonin, and spearmint interacts with GABA, which is kind of like our happy center. Then we're going to look at cistus. Now, you might not know the word cistus, but it is known by two other names, labdamen and rock rose. And rock rose, if you think of rock rose, it's mentioned quite a lot in biblical times, in the Bible. And it is kind of sweet and quite sensual smell. It's really good for inner calm. It helps with hormones again, and it helps with the immune system, and it's anti-inflammatory. The next one we want to talk about is balance, and this is what we call our grounding blend. And this blend in particular is one that you start the day with. So It could be that you, as soon as you wake up, you put it in the diffuser. You're getting your mind set right. You're getting your nervous system into a nice grounding sensation. The other thing you can do, if you haven't heard of it before, is you can aromatically dress. And what that is you get a little bit of carrier oil. And when you get out the shower, you might then just apply it all over your body to kind of give you that support throughout the day. Balance is such a versatile oil that and it's quite unisex in its aroma, that you could actually put it in the car and just have it diffusing. It's going a bit psycho here in the back. What are you doing? And then, so you put it in the car. So if you don't have a portable diffuser, you can get a little bit of cotton bud and put a bit on and put it in there. Now, again, Balance, because it's got some furs and some woods in there, it's really good for respiratory. And sometimes you're thinking, well, why respiratory? If you're thinking of sleep issues, you're looking at from a perspective, some people struggle with sleep apnea, snoring, etc. That's going to really help, opening up those airways and clearing. And that's black spruce. It acts as clearing blockages, especially when it comes to mucuses, so membranes. So even just either having the spruce or the Balance, putting a little bit on the toe to help with the snoring would be really good as well. It's really good to have in a bath, make you feel zen. It's great as a tonic for the thyroid and the adrenals as well. The next oil to talk about is cedarwood, and I absolutely, as a perfumer, love cedarwood. It's a great note to have in your fragrance. It is also very, very beneficial for people with attention deficit. Now, I will just sideline the sleep, and I just want to say this bedtime collection, if you're listening to all what I'm talking about and the oils that I've said in this collection, I would love to do a whole masterclass on this bedtime bliss collection, purely from the basis of people on the spectrum. These oils that I've mentioned are all very supportive oils for anyone who has like sensory processing, ADHD, Asperger's, anxiety. Yeah, I could go on in that subject, and cedarwood is just one of those oils that you definitely want to have in your toolbox. It acts as a sedative, and it's got cleansing properties. So in the Bible, cedarwood is mentioned frequently, and what they did use it for is to cleanse lepers. It releases serotonin, and therefore it will then produce and make melatonin. So it is a really good one to have at night. It's a source of protection. So if you've got little ones who are a bit afraid of the dark, bit feeling, at unease, this would be also a good oil to use. Now, it can be applied aromatically or topically. Personally, this is one that I would set up for in the diffuser when I'm going to sleep, or I would actually put it on my body because it has the benefit of the skin. Now, it also acts as anti-inflammatory. So then again, if you've got any joint or discomfort, it's definitely going to help. Next, we're going to talk about vetiver. And vetiver, a lot of people know and are getting to know the benefits of vetiver. Within my oleographics business, I make an unwind blend, and it has a large portion of vetiver in it. Vetiver basically helps with brain health, and when we're asleep, that is when we're wanting to get that support, it increases libido. So perimenopause, menopause, it's going to help stimulate, going to help. It also will help men and their libido, and it raises testosterone naturally. And I want to say this because if you're a person who's looking at falling pregnant, and you might be having difficulty on the partner's side, then you're wanting to increase their testosterone, then, you know, this could be something you could use in conjunction with what you're doing. PMS support, so muscle support, cramps. So it's a really good one for, you know, both female and males, and it improves sleep patterns. And when we're talking about sleep patterns, this is the fundamental core of why we want to develop routine and habits with our sleep, is to help our circadian rhythm. And our circadian rhythm is like literally our clock, and we need it. It's essential. It helps reduce inflammation in the body. So vetiver is really good at helping us restore and improve those sleep patterns. It also lowers blood pressure and it relaxes blood vessels. So if you think of people who are on blood thinners, this would be a fantastic oil to support them and the cardiovascular system. And it helps reduce snoring. Now, what I really want to show, and I'm hoping it will work, is a video of how vetiver is sourced, because I think it's really important sometimes to see what's behind the bottle, where's it growing, how was it put into the bottle, and the impacts that it has. Because when you see that and then you take that bottle, the sense of gratitude and the feelings that you get connected with that help your whole nervous system, and not only help that, help someone else in need. So let's have a look.
I took them out to be able to meet with people who are harvesting the vetiver for us. The first reaction I had was hope. It was beautiful. It was lush and green. It was very different from what you see in cities in Haiti. So the next thing I really noticed was how hard they work. Their calloused hands, their weathered faces, but they took pride in their work.
Vetiver is a really interesting crop in that it's a very hardy grass. It can grow just about anywhere. That was introduced there primarily for the fragrance industry, and we have targeted for the aromatherapy industry specifically, both with our partners on the ground there and the cooperative we're working with to grow our raw materials.
The manual labor required to harvest vetiver is quite incredible. It's much harder than what I ever imagined. And they do this day in and day out. Not only do they pull the vetiver plant out of the ground, but then they've got to take a stick and they've got to beat the dirt out of the root system so that all they have left is just that pure vetiver root.
15 days to produce 1 gallon of oil. 500 of these bells to fill up one of those 20-foot tall seals. And after it's harvested, you'll get 1 gallon of oil for 5 guys' work for 15 days. Haiti, being the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, truly is an ideal place for co-impact sourcing. They have tens of thousands of small-scale farmers who are largely unorganized, and our being able to go there and truly make an impact, a difference in a country that badly needs it, presented us a great opportunity to undertake our sourcing initiatives there.
à planifier sous quantité de vétiver qui pousse et récolter. Vous comprenez, pour nous capables de quitter vétiver avec notre terre, pour une bonne planification, bonne gestion qui fait la demi, ni au point de vue champ, ni au point de vue en d'un bureau.
As we met with the cooperative and to be able to really understand some of the challenges and trials that they were dealing with. First of all, is that the income that they were receiving was not sustainable. They would go out and harvest vetiver as they needed it, but it didn't sustain them throughout the year to be able to provide for their family, to provide the food that they needed, to be able to provide even the simplest of things like education. They couldn't afford to send their children to school because they didn't have that sustainable stream of income throughout the year.
Today, we had a great meeting. They proved to me personally, I even cry after hearing certain things, that makes me more motivated to have those people working very hard in the vegetable field to make it a better life. Even if I have a distillery and I don't have those people, I won't be able to work. And even if those people have their field full of vetiver and they don't have their distillery, nobody will be able. But it's like a chain on a motorcycle, on a bicycle that is going thief after thief, So we have been doing that work and having a company like doTERRA, coming and have the same vision, same ramp, and have all the Haitian in the vetiver field have a better life, including myself.
What touched me the most as we met with them is to discover they had no access to clean water, that they were traveling for 3 hours every single day to be able to collect water that wasn't even drinkable.
This was really very touching to hear, certain people in 2014 that didn't have water, to even drink or water to even cook their food. They have to walk hours from where we were to get a single gallon of water. And myself, I don't accept that. I want to change their way of life, but I won't be able to make a miracle.
We sat there and we understood the desires of their heart to someday have water. We made a commitment that we would bring that to them. Make a difference. You can do that because that's what we stand for.
Yeah, making a difference. Okay. So yeah, as you can see with vetiver, this is why to me co-impact sourcing is so important. And also then when you see what it takes to get it in the bottle as a perfumerer, we look at sustainability even as far as how we utilize our essential oils. So being more mindful and conscious, it's just like we don't want to oversource or overuse either. So why doTERRA? We talked about the co-impact sourcing and why it matters. TPG is the standard of the testing that's done with doTERRA essential oils. So they use a third party, so they don't actually do the testing inside. Also, they've got a website called Source to You, so you can look it up. And even for me as a perfumerer, this is why I really find it really important, is there's a serial number on each of the bottles, and then all you need to do is enter that in, and it gives you all the chemical composition and all the information that you need about the bottle that you have in your hand. And like, you know, if we think about going to a drugstore or to the chemist, when we get a bottle of essential oil, we don't know the quality. We don't know if it's full or if it's basically got other stuff in it. And not only from that point of view, when we talk about, remember I said about the northern and the southern hemisphere and where it's grown and where it's sourced matters from the therapeutic benefits. When we can look at the chemical composition, we can say, yes, that will do that, that will support that. So to me, that is why I partner with doTERRA. And from a sustainability point of view, because that to me, in essence, we don't oversource. You know, there was a period for years that doTERRA did not do chamomile because it wasn't up to the level or they couldn't source it. Like even now, birch oil, you know, people buy birch oil all the time, but if you knew about the sustainability or oversourcing sandalwood, you would understand why it really makes a difference. So let's just talk about pricing of the collection that we spoke about. So we talked about the Bedtime Bliss kit. At the top here, you've got the wholesale price. So you can get all these oils, including a bottle of fractionated coconut oil, so you can use to dilute and apply topically for a wholesale price of $172. Now, if we look here, the recommended retail price is $229. That's what you can buy it for. And it's still giving you a savings there as well, because when we look at each of these oils individually, the retail price, so for instance, look at vetiver. Vetiver is $94.67, but vetiver, if you just buy a vetiver essential oil, is $71. So you're making a saving. So it does pay to have a wholesale account, but if you're wanting just a retail, then these are the prices and we can help you get those if you need be. I just need to talk about the ways. So we've talked about retail. You get no additional products or discounts. You get the retail price and there's no free shipping. However, if you pay a $35 membership, whether you buy the kit or just individual oils, some of our doTERRA kits come with the membership included, but we're talking about the oils particularly that we really want to share today. You can get 25% off if you get the membership, and it's a one-off $35. It covers you for the year, and then the next year when you renew, you get a bottle of peppermint and it's only $25 for the year. So I love it because you not obligated, so you can come and buy oils whenever you need it. You know, if you need an oil here, there. So even if you're not an avid oil user like myself, you get free shipping. You certainly get a lot of oil education and support, and even the opportunity to get free products. And the other thing I really want to touch upon in this space is, even if you're not looking at it as a form of business, you can just earn what we call doTERRA dollars that will add for you to then buy your own oils cheaper, because, like, you know, each oil can, you know, sometimes be quite costly. Like a bottle of Melissa's like $200. But when you do the earn doTERRA, you basically refer someone. So if you're already starting to use the oils and you're seeing the benefit and you're talking about it, and then your friend wants to get hold of that, why not benefit from that? Yeah. So I'm just explaining this just in case anyone who's watching this, you don't have your own essential oils. You might use another brand of essential oils, and that is okay. If you're doing that, this is just purely for anyone who's wanting access to oils after watching our masterclass today. Now, if we look at ways to learn, you can join our Intuitive Wellness Facebook group. I share resources and tips and tricks and info in that space. You can book a wellness consult, and it doesn't need to be in person. We can do a Zoom session, so certainly reach out for that, or come to one of our in-person events. So from time to time, we offer in-house and at certain venues events. And the other thing I really want to showcase here, if you're not watching this, the recording via our masterclass in the Hub, is to talk about the Thoughtful Pantry, the Hub. It's a membership. I basically offer unlimited for the year. You get access to our masterclass sessions, all the resources, tips, discounts, and much more in that space, rather than buying just your individual class. And then we've got our YouTube channel. So we've got some free content on our YouTube channel. And obviously those in our hub, in our membership, they get access to private YouTube channel. And then our link tree, which I'll just show now. So if you get this QR code and like screenshot it, you'll pop open our QR code and it will have all our resources, our YouTube, our contact details, and much, much more on there. We've got our Thoughtful Pantry Facebook and Instagram page, and obviously you can email us. Now, I've also done a sleep protocol here. Let's have a look. I think I can show you that. Here we go. Just try and enlarge it so you can see it. Whoa. Okay, so yeah, I've done a whole sleep protocol just on how to utilize those oils within. So if you do this QR code here, you'll be able to get that information sent to you. So thanks very much for joining our Sleep Essential Oil Masterclass. We do have in our Thoughtful Pantry Hub the other component to our Sleep Masterclass, if you haven't yet watched, and it's all to do with nutrition and food and the Thermomix and foods and nutrition we can do to support our sleep regime. Okay, no worries. See you later.